I expect you all to be independent, innovative, critical thinkers who do exactly as I say. Do you see the irony? You probably have enacted the irony. So let's take a look at then student-centered teaching or student-centered learning. And before you do, make sure you look over the overview for the week. You may go to File and make a copy or print it out and make a copy and put it in your Google Drive. But that way you have an idea of what you need to accomplish this week. Student-centered teaching, brainstorm some lessons, work on a flipped classroom, and post your lesson. All right, there are many types of student-centered teaching and learning. You will learn about different types of student-centered teaching practices. Then in class next week, you will brainstorm some of the ideas and begin to build your student-centered lesson. You're going to begin the brainstorm right now, but you're going to then, work on that, whichever one you think is best. So the directions explain what I'm going to explain to you right now. Basically, we want to get an idea of why we have student-centered learning, what it is, and then of course, what does it look like in your discipline? And so what you'll need to do is copy this information and put it in your journal. I think the directions are right here. Put it in your journal. And then answer the questions. This is all video based, so you get to watch a bunch of videos. Pull up some popcorn, get a cup of tea, and watch some movies and answer questions. So this should be hopefully a little bit enjoyable. So like in the past, you're just going to copy your work. I'm going to Control-C it, and I'm going to use somebody's journal right here. So I apologize whose journal I'm going to use. Here are your journals. I'm going to take Miss Gabby's journal. Here's her other work. Woohoo! So now I'm going to go right here, and I'm just going to put Control-V and paste it in there. I'm going to give this little cool note thingy a nice title. I'm going to call it Student-Centered Learning. Right, put it in here. I'm going to give a nice heading, maybe heading 2, I don't know. Gabby, I'm going to erase this all in a moment. So then I'm going to answer these questions now and watch these videos. Next to the video is the amount of time each one takes, just in case you have to plan your life a little bit and what it takes. These are cool videos. You've seen this or watched some of this Ken Robinson video, but I want you now to think about this. From his standpoint, what do we need to change to get education to make it meaningful for students? There are a bunch of things that he feels that we ought to change, but we want to think about them a little bit. You know what? I'm going to write down something. Write the time code for your answer. And the reason I want you to write the time code for your answer is so that we can discuss it next week. I'm going to make sure I put that in the other item. And then what are the 10 expectations or questions that this student had about learning? And this is cool. This is actually a video that was created by a student of what she or he wants in learning. And which one do you think you could teach in your classroom and why? So there's the video. It's 3 minutes. Watch it. It's cool. Next, now you're going to think about what is student-centered teaching and learning. So watch these. These are pretty cool. This is one that I want you all to watch. Okay, watch this video. It's 11 minutes. And think about what is student-centered teaching? What is the goal? What are the challenges? And what are some of the tips? You're going to get lots of good tips in here in this 11 minutes. Enjoy it. Watch it. Okay, math. This is long, but it's really good to watch. So if you're a math-oriented person, I just stick it on, do something that it's no think that you have to do. Maybe make your bed or something like that, right? And then you can watch the video or listen to your video. If you want to really lead strong discussions, this is a good video to watch as well, because that can be part of that student-centered learning, depending on how you use a discussion. And then this thing is, what is the theory of constructivism? And constructivism is a lot of the reason why we have the student-centered learning. And without mentioning the word constructivism, it's also what Ken Robinson is also talking about a little bit when we want to have students actually making information and pulling it together themselves, which also aligns to depth of knowledge, of course. So then in here, What does student-centered learning look like in your discipline? So here are different things that you can look at so that you can really think about what does it look like in what you're teaching and what your discipline is. And here I just want you to find something on the internet so that you can go, okay, what is it and what does it look like in my field? So all that together is going to help you fill out kind of what your journal is. And more specifically, you know, what is student-centered teaching and learning in your discipline? And then next week, we're really going to talk about it after you have another cool experience. All right, so now that you have learned a bunch about student-centered learning, you're going to kind of create an outline for a lesson. Brainstorm 2. I put 3 here and 2 down there. So why don't we change it to 2? 2 ideas. And it's really nice if you can fit them into your unit, 1 or 2 of them. You only need an outline. You don't need to like choose one that is just so perfect. We just need a little bit so that we can brainstorm and actually help each other in class next week and try to refine our ideas. So where can you get some ideas? It tells you here to use some search terms. This is similar to, you know, the instructions where you had to just learn about student-centered learning or teaching. And look at this. Think about project-based learning and your content area and maybe your specific unit idea or linear equations. Okay, is there a cool project with linear equations or linear functions? Okay, inquiry-based lessons, problem-based learning, and then also put in your content area. So if you're doing problem-based learning and photosynthesis, something like that, authentic learning and organelles of a cell. I don't know what authentic learning would look like in organelles of a cell, but you never know. So what are some other ideas? You could also look in your growth mindset book in chapter 5. These are the pages. There's a list of ideas. Check it out. You're in social studies. This Stanford education group has so many cool ideas, so you might want to look at that. Math. There's this thing called Open Middle, and it gives some good problem-based learnings where they're not just one right answer. So you might want to check that out. This pros and cons issue of any issue or website of any issue really helps students create arguments. That's neat. And an idea about making a movie or podcast, public service announcement, you know, poster, picture chart of anything that's open-ended, right? Or a presentation. Right here, we're going to look at this. You're going to get this packet next week, but here's a bunch of ideas for you in this packet of different strategies and how you could use them. And then right here, depth of knowledge in the content areas. I know we've gone over depth of knowledge briefly, but look, here it is for math. So if you look over here, you might get some ideas about how to extend thinking, strategic thinking, and here's language arts, and here's social studies, and here is science. So just looking at this may really help you in trying to think of, what can I do in my class that is helpful along these lines to help develop these things? Because most of the time when you're doing open-ended learning or constructivist learning, you're going to be looking at 2, 3, and 4. Every once in a while you could do 1, but most of the time you're going to go a little bit beyond that kind of information. So we look forward to your brainstorms when you're doing that student-centered teaching or learning. So hopefully when you create your student-centered teaching lessons, you'll think about, can my learners be independent? Can they be innovative? Can they become critical thinkers? And can I arrange my classroom so they can do all those things? Because telling your students what to do every second of the day and how to think is not going to help us make those students that we need for the future.